Hey everybody, I think we are live on Facebook.
Yes. Hello, hello.
Hey everybody. So we're back at it again today. This is actually becoming my favorite thing about Wednesdays is our Wedding Wednesday vendor spotlight. Today we are hosting with some caterers and some bakeries here in Raleigh and the surrounding area. So we're going to be chatting about some different things with regard to planning your upcoming wedding, or maybe your wedding that got rescheduled or postponed, or just even if you need a little pick-me-up cake or meal. Maybe some of these awesome vendors are doing some curbside pickup and you can take part in that. So we're so excited to have everybody on today. I'm just going to give a shout out to who we have. Just Soup, City Barbecue, Edible Art, Catering Works, Confectionate Cakes, Empire Eats, which is featuring the restaurants Jitty, City, and Gravy. And then we have Capital Cakes as well. And I see we had a couple people jump on.
Yeah, we have Mr. and That Dang Woman and Big Mike's Barbecue.
Awesome. That's so great. Thank you guys for joining along with us. So we're going to just kind of get it kicked off. I'm going to reintroduce and let everybody tell you a little bit about themselves. So James, why don't you take it with Just Soup.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. My name is James. I own a seafood boil company called Just Soup. We specialize in the Southern classic of a low country boil. So basically we bring the beach to everybody. It's all about a boil experience and just having a great time. I started the business on my birthday last year. So we are coming up to our 1-year anniversary this year. We are super excited. And I just love seafood, and Just Soup stands for just seafood out of the pot.
Oh, that's great. I love that. Awesome. Great. Okay, Lynn, City Barbecue.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me okay? I'm having some technical difficulties. They've got me.
We hear you, but we don't see you.
I know. I promise I'm here, and I put makeup on for no reason. Oh, I'm so annoyed. But anyway, thank you. I've been with City Barbecue for 7 years since we've been in this area, and we are so grateful for partners like yourselves. Forever Bridal, you have been a godsend. Thank you so much. But we do barbecue, as our name tells you, and we do a lot of weddings, and we really enjoy it. We smoke all our meats on site every single day. And we are open for curbside right now at our 4 locations throughout the Triangle area. So we are excited. We are excited. I'm excited to see your faces and out here in the world. So thank you so much, and hope everybody's doing well.
Awesome, Lynn. Thank you. That is so sweet of you. And we wish we could see you too. So hopefully you'll get your video up shortly.
I've been texting IT, so maybe it'll pop on. We'll see.
Well, we sure hope so. Okay, Mindy, let's take it away from Edible Art.
Hi everyone, I'm Mindy with Edible Art Bakery. Edible Art is a family-owned business, started out about 36 years ago with another family. However, we are known for our scratch-made pound cake. We do also dessert bars, mini dessert bars for many special events, weddings, and we also do have a full cafe with other mini desserts. We offer cupcakes and cake slices, and like City Barbecue said, we are also doing curbside pickup, open 11 to 6 during the week, and then Sunday 11 to 5. And we're still working with all of the brides and couples that we can in rescheduling their wedding dates, and also working with couples that are planning a wedding for the fall or next year. And we're trying to do some take-home tastings. Right now, unfortunately, we are not able to do our normal tastings every week, which kills us on Fridays and Saturdays. We always loved meeting all the new couples. But we are doing take-home tastings, so if anybody wants to go ahead and order one of those for pickup, we can certainly do that for you. But again, we are here every day. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us via phone or email, and we're happy to continue to help you all.
That's so great. I had my own little sampling yesterday. We got a little birthday cake for my son's girlfriend. So we've been enjoying some edible art over the past day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kelly from Catering Works, tell us a little bit about your business.
Hi, good afternoon. I'm Kelly with Catering Works. I am the director of sales here. I've been with Catering Works almost 8 years now. We've been in business about almost 31 years now, serving the Triangle area. We are a full service caterer, so weddings, all different types of full service events, as well as our delivery side. And we are also doing some curbside service. We have our family meal bundles that we're doing right now. And so people can still come and pick up and enjoy, our wonderful food. So we're looking forward to, getting back to the normal, hopefully sometime soon this summer, early fall. So, but we're still in the office working. So if you need anything at all, just let us know.
Kelly, where can you find information about those family meal bundles and what's included and pricing and so forth?
All of that is on our website. We have a page dedicated to that. And we're doing, and we also have a bunch of frozen casseroles as well. So we're doing family meal bundles for 4 people, but we've also got some fun party packs, as well as like movie nights or date nights packages on cateringworks.com.
That's awesome. Thank you. And thanks for everybody so far who's helping us try to stay as normal as possible. Laura from Confectionate Cakes, tell us what you have going on right now, a little bit about you.
Hey, I'm Laura with Confectionate Cakes. I've been a licensed bakery for almost 20 years now. Can't believe it's been that long. I am a pretty much a full service bakery, pretty much boutique. So I don't have a specific dessert menu, but asking, I can pretty much do it. We are currently doing pickup orders, delivery orders for cakes, custom cakes. I've had quite a few people lately call from out of state because somebody's here has a birthday or a celebration they want to do. So I'm happy to do that. Also offering tasting boxes to go and Zoom meetings for consults, or even just you want to ask questions. I'm here to help any way I can. And you can find me on the website, which is confectionatecakes.com, and also on Facebook and Instagram and Pinterest.
That is so awesome. What a way. Everyone is just so creative and innovative with everything that's going on right now. So that's really awesome that you guys are just taking the situation and making the best of it. So Amy and Kimberly, I don't know which one of you guys maybe you both want to chat a little bit about your Empire Eats and the different properties that you're representing today.
Sure, absolutely. Kimberly, you want me to go first? Do you want to take it?
Sure, you can go first.
Okay. All right. Hi, everybody. It's great to see you all. My name is Amy Amerson. I am the Director of Private Dining and Events for Empire Eats. And my colleague Kimberly is here as well. I'm representing specifically today our venue at Sithy and Gravy, and that is the Jitty Space. It is an indoor-outdoor venue that is catered specifically by Sithy and Gravy. And Kimberly heads up our offsite catering division, and that caters other venues in the area, including the Stockroom and All Saints Chapel. And we also have the Glass Box. Currently, our restaurants, Sithy, Gravy, the Raleigh Times, and the Raleigh Pit, they are all doing a curbside pickup. And Kimberly's doing some deliveries as well. So if you are interested in checking those out, we have some great packages, also some deli things, and also a pantry over at the Pit currently. So all those are on our respective websites, and we would love to see you. And also, if you are looking for rehearsal dinner locations, all of our restaurants have some great spaces for that. I'm happy to address questions about that as well. Thanks so much. Kimberly, take it away.
Thanks, Amy. As she mentioned, yes, we are the preferred caterer in our event spaces, which are the Stockroom, All Saints Chapel, and the Glass Box, but we also cater all throughout the Triangle. We've been down in Southern Pines and Pinehurst. out to Wilson. We travel everywhere, and we do the food for all of the restaurants with Empire Eats Restaurant Group. So if you want offsite catering from any of those restaurants, that's what we do. Full service or just drop off, either one works for us. So we cover Sithy, Gravy, the Raleigh Times, and the Raleigh Pit. So we're happy to do food from any of those or to mix and match, which is always fun and unique to really give that taste of downtown at your event.
Gosh, you guys are making me want to go out to eat right now, talking about everything. I can't.
That's our goal.
Oh my goodness. Caitlin, are you there with us from Capital Cakes? Is Caitlin there?
Am.
Oh, there. Perfect.
Hi. So my name is Caitlin Johnson. I own Capital Cakes. I have had a business for about 13 years and 2.5 years officially as Capital Cakes. We specialize in unique, one-of-a-kind cakes that are pretty coolly decorated. We're still doing porch pickups. We're still doing deliveries. We're doing tasting box pickups. Something really neat that we're also doing is small versions of your wedding cake for your now canceled wedding day. So you can still pick up a cute little cake to celebrate at home with your loved one on what should have been your wedding day. We also do classes for culinary and pastry as well. We recently just moved to a soon-to-be 1,000-square-foot tasting room and bakery, which will have plenty of space to do classes, which you could do as a cool bachelorette party as well. But we also do dessert bars. We do all different kinds of desserts. I'm classically trained and can pretty much make anything you would like, and we'd love to help you for your special day.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing.
Pleasure.
So I think too, we've had a couple of other people jump on. Let me see here. Who else do we have?
We just had-
Michael Markham, are you still with us? Is Michael still there? Can you unmute yourself so you can introduce?
Oh, hey.
Hey.
Did that work?
Hey, how are you?
Hey.
All right. Tell us a little bit about Big Mike's.
We've got 2 locations, one in Cary and one in Apex. We've been doing barbecue for about 9 years. I'm actually out front of our Apex store right now, and we're in the middle of what great timing to do some construction and do an expansion of your restaurant, except right when the pandemic hit. So under construction now, but everything's kind of on hold because we're waiting on some additional funding to come through before we start the rest of the project. But we are offering to-go food takeout at both of our locations. Currently, we're still trying to do our wedding tastings, and what we're doing now is we're offering those up for delivery. So all these tastings we had on the books, we're offering to bring those to your home. And we've been doing some Zoom calls and doing some phone calls to people, just kind of walking through the food while they're doing. So that's something we've kind of specialized in, and let people come in-house, try our food. Can't really do that right now, but we are open. We are offering delivery. We've been taking our 2 food trucks to neighborhoods around the triangle and doing takeout food for people in the neighborhoods. But we still got a full crew. We're still working. Everybody's still somewhat gainfully employed, but could definitely use any business we can right now. But it's definitely blessed. We've been getting a lot of takeout orders. Barbecue really travels well. So, but yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, awesome. I want to add too, if you have joined us for one of our wedding shows, Big Mike's has a food truck there. It's the big red barn, and they have the pig out front. At the last show, they had a pretty big booth space in the back. So if you've been to one of our wedding shows with all these guys, you probably had their food before.
And what a great way to just stay active and getting food out to everybody. This is, I don't know, I'm like loving and hating this conversation at the same time because I'm thinking about all my food options for later. So thank you again for being with us and sharing a little bit about yourself. I think Kevin with Rocky Top might have hopped on as well. Kevin, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi, I'm here with Vicky. We're from Rocky Top Catering, and we're a full-service off-premise caterer here in the Triangle and beyond. We're a full-service off-premise caterer. We own 2 venues, one in North Raleigh, one in Youngsville, Cross and Main, and 1705 East. We're the exclusive caterer for the North Carolina Museum of Natural Science, as well as for UNC Athletics. We do football, basketball, baseball, all of which is currently up in the air for the fall here. We're waiting to hear back about a lot of that stuff, but yeah, we've been around for Rocky Top Hospitality has been around for about 22 years, and we've been doing catering for about 10 or 15 years now. And we'd love to help.
Thanks, Kevin. It's always a pleasure to have you and chat with you and hear about what's going on in the industry. So we're going to be asking some questions in just a minute. I think we have one other guest that we haven't introduced yet. I don't have her company name listed on here, but it's Jennifer. So I'm not sure if you can hear me, Jennifer.
Yeah, I can hear you. How are y'all?
Oh, perfect. Oh, hi. How are you? Oh, Mr. and That Dang Woman. Perfect. Well, tell us a little bit about you.
So our company name is Mr. and That Dang Woman's Catering. I would be that dang woman. We have been in business for about catering for 4 years. The food truck now is going into our 3rd year, I believe it is. So right now at this point, we are our biggest, obviously, thing is our food truck. We're doing pretty well in that area. We're able to go out to a lot of neighborhoods and serve the community in that aspect. Catering, drop-offs, deliveries, things of that nature we can do now. But we specialize in obviously the wedding industry. We've been a part of your show as well, and we just look forward to many more years of working with Forever Bridal and getting to know you all. I see a couple of faces that are familiar. Hope y'all are doing well. One of our unique aspects of our company is that we are farm to fork or farm to table, as people like to say. So we raise our own hogs to cater for our weddings and to our clients. So they're raised all natural. We process them ourselves, and it's kind of like barbecue that's on a different level because it is farm to table, and there's no preservatives and all that stuff that they put into normal barbecue. So we kind of pride ourselves in that area. But aside from that, we're really excited to get through this pandemic and, see what the Lord has in store for us.
Well, from your lips to his ears right now, because I'd like to know what he has in store for all of us too.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you, everyone. I think I got everybody introduced. So we're going to move into some questions that, brides are still looking for answers while they're planning their weddings for later this year and into next year. So we want to make sure we're giving them some good information and some content to help them through that process. Camelia, I know we had a girl comment, she was on our photography Wednesday last week and she had some photography questions, but I know she asked another question for catering. So why don't we start off with that and then I'll let you take the questions from there.
Yeah, absolutely. So while I want to say thank you to everyone for joining us today, we definitely want to keep this video light. However, there are questions concerning weddings and COVID and just the unknown in general. So this particular question comes to us from a bride. She's in the process of booking her caterer right now for a wedding that's supposed to take place in the fall. Her caterer is not really getting back to her. It's making her a little uneasy. She is wondering, and I know this is going to vary by different companies, but if you can shed some light, this would be helpful. How are you handling refundable deposits should a bride book you for the fall? And God forbid, we still are not able to have mass gatherings of some sort. And for the couples who are going through it right now, I know a lot of couples have weddings planned for June that we're still a little unsure of. So how is everyone handling postponements due to the current pandemic?
So I'll answer that question. As far as for our company, what we are doing for near future caterings is more or less taking a smaller deposit that is non-refundable. That way it's not such a big hit on the pocket as 50% or half down. So we're doing 25% down, and it is still non-refundable as far as to save the date, but we are offering a up to 2 years as far as a new date goes. So if it's still out there when if they plan it for August and they're still that ban on the and they want to change it, they can change it up to 2 years from their scheduled date.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing with us what you are doing currently. Next, we have Capital Cakes. Can you share with us how you're currently handling everything?
Sorry, how we're kind of handling replannings and things of that nature. I'm still doing a deposit like I normally do. However, I'm doing the same thing. It kind of falls under the act of God clause. It's not anything that I did or anything that you did. It's just, it's unavoidable. So if it's getting moved to within the fall, then I'll just move the date, no problem. If I'm already incredibly past booked at that point, then I'll just refund all of their money, because there's no way that I can do that. There are tons of brides, probably about 25, that move from the spring down to the fall. And we did about 60 or to 70 cakes last fall, and it was a little absurd. And that's on a normal season. So with these added on top of it, it's a little past what we can probably handle. So some of the later reschedulers might kind of get turned away, but yeah, I would do full refund as long as if there was nothing that either of us could do about it. But yeah, rescheduling whenever they need to. I don't really have a time frame like Jennifer does. I'll do whatever they need to, in all honesty.
You know, that brings up an interesting point, Caitlin, is, and I hadn't thought of it from this perspective until you brought it up. You already have weddings on the books for the fall. And now you have, and I'm sure you're not the only one, and now you have all of the reschedules that are being moved to that. So you're increasing the amount of business in that time frame than you might otherwise normally want to have, or even be capable of doing. So any advice on how
busy time? So I know a lot of suggestions have been to, if possible, move to a Friday or Sunday, since a lot of vendors already have Saturdays booked. So the fall is a crazy time for everyone.
Another thing that brides could possibly do is ask if there's actually a refrigerator or something on site, that if we could deliver on a Friday and leave it. I know that I hate when florists put flowers on my cake. I like to do them myself. But I mean, if we're that squished for time and it's just not possible, then yeah, we could do a Friday delivery and leave it overnight and have a florist do it or whatever to make it just possible. But I mean, we did 30 wedding cakes in October alone in a normal season last year. I don't know how we're gonna do the other 15 that are coming on top of it.
So another good question to ask your vendors that you're talking to is, what does their team look like? Are they a sole proprietor doing everything by themselves, or do they have the ability to be in 2 different places at once? Cakes are a little bit easier. You can have multiple cakes going to multiple places, whereas a caterer, they might only be able to be at one location. So those are going to be questions you're going to ask. What dates do they have booked? What flexibility do they have to accommodate multiple weddings on one weekend or on the same day? And I believe City Barbecue also wanted to chime in on how they're handling refunds and postponements.
Hi, everybody. This is Lynn at City Barbecue. I've probably rescheduled 50 weddings from this spring already. And we are moving your dates to whenever you want, refunding deposits, whatever that you need. And we're also helping you on those deposits as well. As Jennifer mentioned, we are also letting you split that up. Our deposits aren't quite as heavy. We're a $500 deposit, holds your date on a normal contract, holds your date, and it's fully refundable till 30 days out. So they're very generous when it comes to that to begin with, but they're also, we're now allowing you to completely refund that if need be, or move it. I've got a lot of couples that are getting married now in very small ceremonies. I actually have a couple getting married this Saturday that's just going to have like 10 people in their backyard, and they're, the couple and their parents and their grandparents, and that's it. And then they're going to have their reception next spring on the same date. So people are finding a way around it. There's plenty that you can do. And, you know, and I've found most people, as I've talked to so many brides over the last few weeks, most people are very flexible. Like I'm sure everybody here on this call, everybody's being flexible because none of us have faced this before. So, you know, we're all in this together, and we're going to get through this just fine. And, you know, we'll be flexible with you. And, you know, as vendors, I think all of us are being very flexible with that too. So it's going to be okay.
Well, and I commend all of you for working so hard and so diligently with all of these couples. I know that you want to do what's right for them. And we also know, working in the wedding industry, that most of you are taking a loss in your business by helping these couples out. So we appreciate you going above and beyond to help them have their dream day. So enough with the sad doom and gloom. This is one of my favorite questions that I love to ask everyone. I hope no one is hungry, because your mouths will probably start watering and your tummies will start growling. I would like everyone, just kind of raise your hand and we can go in order, to let me know either what is your favorite meal to serve that you offer, or what is a crowd favorite. And for my bakers, I want to know what is your favorite cake and icing flavor combination, or what is a crowd favorite, or what is the most unique combination that someone has requested, because I love hearing what people like. So either what's your favorite to offer, or what do you think is a crowd favorite? What's your most popular dish that you serve to everyone? So who would like to go first? Okay, so we'll do capital cakes.
All right, so my favorite hands down is almond cake with raspberry. Doesn't matter if it's pound cake, regular almond, anything almond and raspberry. I sell a ton of lemon cake with raspberry or blueberry jam, any kind of fun, funky fillings. And
Yes,
the
girl.
weirdest one I've gotten so far is spice cake with apricot.
Did you try it?
No. That's a little too funky for me.
That is definitely a unique combination that I have not heard of before.
Weird one.
Who else wants to tell us about their favorite? Edible art?
Yeah, so as a lot of you probably know, almond amaretto is definitely hands down the favorite amongst everyone, that most people that come in. But funny enough, my favorite is actually the lemon cake. I'm a huge chocoholic, but the lemon one definitely hands down is my favorite. Adding the lemon blueberry, blueberry buttercream, probably my favorite combination. We've seen some interesting flavors come through for wedding requests. I would say an orange cake with chocolate chips, peanut butter and jelly, which actually, I mean, that's a good one, but still pretty interesting. And then one I never would have expected was an Earl Grey cake, which is pretty cool that she actually continues to order it for her anniversary, her birthday cakes, her mom's birthday cakes. So it's turned into a flavor that we've been making on a regular basis for their family because they really enjoy it. But I would say those are probably the most interesting cakes.
So did you have to come up with the ingredients to figure out how to make that Earl Grey cake? Because that's not very common.
Yes, yeah. So she asked us upon the tasting, and I talked to Miss Melinda, who's been our baker here for a very long time, asked her if she'd be able to try a couple recipes, and she did a couple different things with our pound cake recipe, and she found a way to be able to make it appetizing, and I brought it to them for their tasting, and they absolutely loved it. So yeah, we went with it. I mean, we obviously don't have that in the cafe on a daily basis, but now we know how to make an Earl Grey pound cake.
Awesome. We'll do Mr. and That Dang Woman and then confectionate cakes.
So for weddings, our biggest seller as far as food for the food is our menu would be our barbecue and our grilled marinated chicken with our mac and cheese and green beans. The mac and cheese is probably one of our most loved side dishes. And for the food truck, we actually introduced it as a new item. About 3 weeks ago, we did mac bowls. So we have barbecue mac bowls, brisket mac bowls, and brisket and barbecue mac bowls. They are ridiculous and definitely not something to eat if you're trying to watch your weight. And the buffalo chicken egg rolls were the next best thing sold on the food truck. They are in very high demand. And then we introduced our South in Your Mouth egg roll, which is our barbecue and mac and cheese egg rolls. So they're barbecue with mac and cheese stuffed in an egg roll and deep fried. So if you can imagine, they're pretty good.
Okay, so make sure you bring that to the next wedding show so I can try one of everything, okay?
No, like who's bringing me dinner in about an hour is what I want to do.
Right. So we have confectionate cakes and then catering works. And I want to remind anyone who's watching this live, if you guys have any questions, type them in the comments so we can ask everyone. So we'll do confectionate cakes and then catering works.
Hey, I have to say the most requested cake of mine is the strawberry shortcake. Hands down, that's it. That's the most popular at the bridal show. Lemon blueberry is probably next past that. My personal favorite I've been doing quite a bit of cookies lately, so yay. That's been fun to do. And probably the two most interesting cakes that I've been requested to do are a Parisian love cake, for which I had to go find rose water to do. Ended up smelling like potpourri when I was doing it, but ended up tasting great. So I was surprised. Another one was the couple's favorite beer was Sweet Baby Jesus, which is a peanut butter stout. And so we came up with a cake that you got to use that, and they love that. So those are my two most unique ones. That's it.
So when we go back to the office, you can bring me some of that Sweet Baby Jesus to try, because that sounds delicious. And as long as it tastes good, that's all that matters. Even if
Oh
it
yeah,
doesn't.
chocolate peanut butter. That's good.
Awesome. So we have catering works, and then we have Empire Eats.
Definitely all sound very good right about now. I would probably have to say some of our most popular and fun items are some of our stations, like our dim sum station with like bao buns, whether it's like short rib or chicken or shrimp, as well as like different kinds of dumplings, pad thai rolls, things like that. That are always very fun, anything kind of Asian. But then also we have like our fun poke bowls that can be vegetarian and vegan as well. But then also just even street tacos, which are just kind of fun when people want a little bit more of a casual feel to do with like chicken tinga or steak or shrimp as well as vegetarian too. So just kind of like, make it your way kind of. So lots of different fun options that can be, ready for people to be able to eat. So I don't know, just any kind of stations is what, we always enjoy.
Do couples kind of mix and match the different food styles and flavors, or do they usually kind of tend to stick to one and just have multiple flavors? Or will they do like tacos and pot stickers?
We see a lot of different stations. Like sometimes people want to do that around the world feel and do kind of like a little bit of Asian, a little bit bring in the pasta stations, different kinds of, or even that Southern feel of some sort with the chicken and waffles. So doing something like that, kind of mix it up, but everything's customized. So even down to like the simplest gradient of, adding like a sriracha barbecue sauce or something fun like that to any kind of station. So.
That sounds delicious and sounds like a lot of fun and a really cool way for the couples to showcase some of their favorite foods to their wedding guests. I really like that idea of doing the different stations. So we have both Amy and Kimberly with Empire Eats to weigh in. Whoever wants to go first can go.
I think for us, the hardest is when people do come and say they have two favorites, like mac and cheese from the pit and samkahara from City. So to have a plate with samkahara next to mac and cheese, it's always intimidating for me. So to be able to get a little flexibility from the bride for me to be able to make it a great dinner plate for all of their guests is really the biggest thing, because sometimes they get so set on certain items that they can't see the whole plate. And that's really, for me, I always just, can I have a little bit of grace? And sometimes if they won't give it to me, I'll just throw an extra item in for them just so I can help round out the meal and have it make sense. Because that's really what we always want. But I do love, I love the challenge, but sometimes the combinations just don't always quite go.
I guess that would be a little challenging because at Empire Eats, you have so much variety with the different styles of food that you offer, and so many favorites from this restaurant and that restaurant. Trying to marry everything together can be difficult at times. So Amy,
Very
what are
true.
some of your favorites?
I like what you did there, Camellia. Yeah, so to dovetail off what you're saying, and Kimberly's right there. Specific to the Jitty space, it's catered specifically by Sithy or Gravy. So that kind of helps with that issue because it's one or the other. So you get your favorites from Sithy, and so that's a little bit more of a comprehensive, complete looking at the whole plate kind of deal with that, or just with Gravy. So that being said, I would say our most popular items in that regard with the Jitty space are items that are popular within the restaurants that we've translated into larger events. With Gravy specifically, that's a lot of our lasagna and our chicken parm, which is so tasty. And then the kale Caesar salad. And, you don't think of the salad as being, the highlight or a great, winner on your buffet line. But let me tell you, something about that kale Caesar, that's a popular restaurant favorite and very popular with our Gravy couples, or couples that choose Gravy for their catering at the Jitty space. And then with Sithy, I gotta tell you, there's kebabs, delicious.
Love those.
Super popular. And our cheese rolls. Those are what we kind of lovingly say a Lebanese version of a mozzarella stick. And man, those are something else. But I would say those are our most popular, and those work out really well.
Yes, I can attest to that. I had my rehearsal dinner at Sithy, and I think we had both of those on the menu. So the kebabs, that rice is just perfection. I love that. So Rocky Top, what are some of your crowd favorites that you offer? Unmute.
Thanks, guys. The chicken and waffles are definitely our biggest hit as for cocktail hour. It has like a roasted leek goat cheese and a honey aioli on them. They're about 2 bites and just the cutest things ever. And then dinner, definitely our short ribs. I think that's our signature item. If you've seen us at a bridal show, we probably have those with us. They just travel so well, and they are just fork tender and delicious, and they just never fail ever. And we do them, as a small plate or on a buffet or as a plated meal. So it's just like a super versatile and really delicious entree choice. And then Kevin and I, our personal favorite is probably the toasted Parmesan potatoes. It's a seasonal item, but it's good all the time. So if you haven't gotten to try those yet, when this opens up, I'll make a personal delivery and say hello.
Oh, that sounds delicious. And also stop by their booth. They have some of the best servers working at their booth, and they're so much fun. So thank you guys. And then City Barbecue, tell us about some of your crowd favorites.
Oh, I'm just showing you one right now. Our beef brisket, we slow smoke for 18 hours in the smoker. And it's just buttery and tender and delicious with enough bark on there to give it that flavor. So that's one of our favorites. Probably my favorite to do though is the big fruit, veggie, and cheese displays that we do with smoked sausage as well on there. And they're just beautiful displays and they're lots of fun. It's a nice way to do an appetizer spread and really budget friendly as well too. So it's pretty cool. It's nice to be able to offer couples appetizer spreads like that, brisket and and side dishes and things like that, and stay in that $25 a person range out the door for full service. It's really nice to be able to give you everything that you need and stay at those price points.
Kind of hard to screw up barbecue, I think. Any of our vendors that offer barbecue do a fantastic job with that. Just Soup, do we still have you with us to weigh in on this question?
Yes, ma'am. So sorry, I'm on the way to pick up my daughter from her little sitter, so I do apologize. But yeah, I would say number one, I mean, who doesn't love a low country boil? I mean, I think that's just amazing. So I think I pride Just Soup on everything is local, despite or minus our Alaskan king crab legs or snow crab legs. But the andouille sausage is here in North Carolina. We make our own cocktail sauce. So yeah, I mean, it's always been a favorite. So I've always had the kind of tagline, you don't need an excuse for a low country boil. You can have it throughout every day. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how many people you have. We also recently launched boil at home pots. And so you can have a low country boil in the comfort of your own home. It has everything in the pot. All you need to supply is beer or water, and of course a heating element. In under 30 minutes, you have your own low country boil. And yeah, it's just amazing. I love just getting down and dirty and just seeing, customers and people just connecting over the food and saying how spicy and juicy and amazing it is, and really just getting that beach experience right here in Raleigh, North Carolina, or etc.
I want some.
This is so fun. We actually, I guess it was a weekend or so ago, we oh my gosh, people are coming in my house. We did a low country boil outside on our back deck. Just my kids are here, and my son-in-law went and bought everything and put everything in the pot, and then we just kind of spread it out on the table outside. So it was really a lot of fun. It looked like easy, but a lot of work at the same time. So I would love to experience that myself. So it was really great. That's awesome to know that you offer that. And the take home pots, what a great idea for that.
Yeah, it's
can they get that now from you?
What's that?
Can people take advantage of that, taking that home from you right now?
Yes. So right now, the website, something's going on with a glitch or a bug. And so the IT team is working on our website. It's currently down, but I can share my email address. I could send that to you guys, but it's boil@justsoup.com, nice and easy. And that is O, stands for seafood out of the pot. So yeah, we're doing that right now. So I just ask 24 hours notice. That way we can get the freshest seafood for everyone. It does have very limited shelf life since it is seafood, etc. But what's nice about it is if I have a couple of friends over, etc. for the weekend, I can go and place my order any day of the week within 24 hours. I could do it on Monday, and then, hey, James, I'd like this here at 7 p.m. Boom, there it is on your doorstep. All you need to do is pop open a can of beer, dump it in there, and get boiling.
That's awesome. This is definitely a great time to take advantage of that. For anyone watching, contact Just Soup and get that easy low country boil for yourself. Another question I do want to ask everyone here to kind of weigh in on, and I know it does vary by company, which is why I kind of want a variety just to give our brides an idea. How does your pricing structure work? I know that's different from catering and bakeries, but do you do packages? Do you have an a la carte menu? And then, do you do deposit and payment plan? Just give us kind of a brief idea of what couples can expect from you pricing wise if they're going to contact you for their wedding? Who would like to go first? Okay.
Mindy, go ahead. Mindy, unmute. There you go.
I always forget. But yes, so our wedding cakes are all very custom based, based off a design. We charge based on serving size. So once we know how many servings they're planning on for their wedding or their event, the rehearsal dinner, anything like that, then we'll go ahead and put together a few different tier sizes for them to look at. We do offer some complimentary designs. So a lot of textured buttercream designs are complimentary. But other than that, then it's all based off of the design they want. If they have any pictures they'd like to bring in for the tastings or email over to us, we can provide a quote based off of how long it'll take the decorator to do. But we put together the contract based off the serving size, the design, and to reserve the date, we just require at least a 25% deposit. And after that deposit's been placed, their date's been reserved, and they can make any changes on the design, the serving size, because obviously guest count fluctuates closer to the wedding date. And we just require at least all of final details and the final payment up to 3 weeks prior to the date.
Is the serving size, Mindy, is that what you mean by how many guests you're going to be serving?
Correct. Yes. Yeah. So typically, if someone's looking to have about 100 guests, we would say about a 4-tier cake, 3 to 4-tier cake based off of how wide they would like it.
Awesome. Good information. Thank you. Who else wants to give us some insight into their pricing? Rocky Top?
Sure. So I think this is a very good question, because we get, our inquiries come in and 50% of them say, how much does it cost for 150 people? So kind of what to expect from us is definitely everything is custom. So we're going to need some FaceTime or some conversation in order to get you the most accurate proposal that you're looking for. We've tried to make it easy. We start off with kind of a sample menu booklet that gets you kind of as close to where your thoughts are as possible, and that'll give you an idea of the cost with the food. And then we sort of, take some time to kind of walk through your thoughts and customize that sample package, include the labor, show you what that looks like. But catering at, all the different venues locally, all of our proposals kind of factor in a lot of different determinations that are different from bride to bride. So there is sort of a process to getting the quote started. And we want to get sort of a preliminary quote started, and then we sort of make changes from there. I would say for depositing purposes, once you get to a menu that you like, if you're booking outside of a 6-month time frame, we ask for a 25% deposit, just like most. Within 6 months, that does increase to 50%, just because you're a little bit of a shorter time in reserving the dates there. So that's it.
Is there really a big difference between the sit down versus buffet style? I know that's kind of a big topic that a lot of people talk about. Is it truly that much of a difference between the two, or are they kind of similar as far as pricing structure?
It depends on how many people you have. The lower your guest count, the less different the pricing is. Okay. I think because most of that's factored into the staff. I think the food is pretty similarly priced, at least for us anyways. Our formula that we figured out keeps the pricing pretty similar. I think pricing wise, your stations are your most costly in terms of the food costs, but plated would be your most cost, your highest cost item when you're considering labor.
So they kind of balance out in one way or the other. One, you're paying a little bit more for food. One, you're paying a little bit more for service.
Sure. I think buffet is definitely probably your most budget-friendly option all around.
Awesome. Good information. Thank you.
Sorry, Camelia, I don't mean to be cutting you off. So, Kevin, let's just go back for 1 second. So obviously it's very customized, what you all do with cake and food. It depends on a lot of different factors. if I was a bride and just engaged, call you up and just, what do you cost? Obviously, we just heard that's a loaded question. How can a bride just kind of get an idea? Can I even afford the types of food and the offerings that your company provides? Is there any, in order to get that preliminary quote process going, what would you need to know from her? Would you need to know her budget, her guest count? Is she looking for, like what Camilla said, sit down versus buffet? What could she give you that could help you get started to give her some guidelines?
Well, as much of that information as possible. Budget is always a great question. That's a hard question to get people to answer right off the start. I feel like there's a lot of bridal resources that tell people not to give out that information from the start. But I mean, that's how we work. We have budget range from low 20s for some of our barbecue type stuff. We have our range all the way up to $50, $60 per person. So the average is based on what you want, so if you tell us that you're in this price range, we can give you a quote and tell you what we can give you in your price range versus the opposite way around. But giving us all that information, it matters where your venue is. It matters how many people you have. It matters the style of service that you're looking at doing. All those things matter a lot because that's how we're factoring in staffing. We can give you sort of, based on that preliminary information, we have some tools that we can kind of just pop in some numbers and give you a range. But to us, we don't find that super helpful because, like I said, just diving into those questions, and it doesn't even have to be a long consultation, but like 25, 30 minutes, we can really dive into some of those questions and get you a 75% more accurate quote right off the bat, just for that little time.
Gotcha. Yeah, great. Good to know. I think Mr. and That Dang Woman wanted to comment as well.
Yeah, so with us, we up until the beginning of this year, we had done pretty much the same thing like Rocky Top did. It was really just customized a la carte type items that the couple could go with. But we found that over the past couple of years that a lot of times they're so lost themselves because they've never been married before most of the time, or they've never had catering like that. So there were so many questions and going back and forth with the couple. And so what we actually did this year is we revised a lot of our pricing and whatnot, and we decided to do 4 packages, 4 different types of packages. So we have got bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. And we, I don't know if you've ever kind of looked into, like, our mission really is to kind of cater to everybody. So even the person who really only has a, like a $12 budget, we want to be able to help, not, we're not just out for, the $30,000 bride, but we want to be there for the $2,000-$3,000 bride. So, or couple, should I say. So what we did was, we revised them with, pricing. So that so each package, like the lowest one actually is $12, and it gives them the option to pick 1 meat, 1 side, 1 starch, and a bread. Now that's not including any kind of service. So I have a separate package now for service. So pretty much it allows them to build their ideal catering around what their budget is without having to tell me a budget. And especially for those who may not have such a, maybe they don't have a lot of money. It gives them the, it's discreet for them. It makes them feel less out there, so to speak. with their budget, and I found that it's really been awesome, because now the couples are like, okay, well, we can do the gold package for the food, and we can do we'll just do the silver package for the service, and it fits with what their budget is. Now, as far as the food items, if they want to have a specific food that's not, or a specific item that's not within that package tier, they can still get that item, but they'll just pay an additional to whatever that actual, let's just say if it was steak that they wanted versus barbecue. So they can pay the difference in that in the per person price and still have that same package and not have to tier up to the next tier in order to get that meal. And we found that it's really, really been helpful for them.
Awesome. That's fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. So we're getting a little close to the end of the video, but I know we have a few more people that want to answer this question. And then I have one of my favorite questions that I want to ask really briefly after. So we have City Barbecue, Empire Eats, Confectionate Cakes, and then Capital Cakes.
Hey, this is Lynn. I'll keep it quick. And like everybody said, there are many ways around depending on the level of service that you want. But in general, knowing that there are ways out there, and don't be, for the brides out there, don't be afraid to share what your budget is. It really does help us to help you to know where we're at. So I try to give couples a range from the low end to the high end out the door. And I guess most of my couples appreciate knowing bottom line out the door what those costs are going to be. What is that range, so they know. And it saves my time too. If I know somebody wants to only, their budget is only going to be $10 a person dropped off at their venue, if that's what they want to pay, I know that isn't going to be something I'm going to be able to do for them, and to be honest with them from the front of what that is. And I think people find that helpful, but knowing that there is a range that you can get a nice meal from that includes appetizers and non-alcoholic drinks and 2 meats and 2 sides out the door, starting from that low end of $25 a person up to, around $60 a person out the door, including stations, including all service gratuity and everything else. And so helping those couples get to the bottom line is been a key thing for us. And it's been very helpful, or at least that's the feedback. But I think we all try to do that. We just want to help our couples have a great wedding. That's what we're here for.
That's very well said. And I think all the vendors on this video and everyone watching can agree. Just kind of being upfront and honest will help the wedding pros give you exactly what you're looking for. No surprises, anything, just complete upfront honesty will help them help you have the best day. So next we have Empire Eats, Confectionate Cakes, and then Capital Cakes.
Yes, I was just going to piggyback on what Kevin was saying about that early time, talking it through and really taking that time, because a lot of times the brides who will tell me, I just want this, and I can give them that price and they get it and they freak out, and then they come back to me, and then I make suggestions and we rework it to get where they really need to be. And in the end, we are 25, 35 minutes in where we could have spent that up front. And just created something from the beginning to match what they were looking for. So never be afraid just to say, this is the range I'm looking and this is what I want, because you may think you need the package, but really you can afford to do it per piece and have less food for your cocktail hour to be able to get more food at your dinner reception. So kind of trusting us, this is what we do. I know I am over 700, I think, weddings I counted. And so many of us are, and we're really here just to help guide you and get you what you're looking for at the price that you need it to be at.
Yes, very well said. I think with everyone, there are some things that are standard, but of course everyone is willing to work with you, switch things out to really get your overall vision and something that will work within your budget. Everyone, you know, here on this video and at our shows, we know does a great job at working with the couples to give them exactly what they're looking for. So next we have confectionate cakes and then capital cakes, and then we'll round out this video with one more question.
Hey, going to pricing and how I work it. Deposits are 30%. The balance is due up to 1 week, along with just about any changes, unless there's gum paste flowers, up to 1 week before. So that's when the balance is due. I don't bake until right before, so I'm able to do that. In terms of, yes, I do find it very helpful if a bride comes to me and if I can get a budget, you know, especially when they may be having a larger wedding and then they get sticker shock of how much a cake can cost. And it's helpful for me because then I can say, all right, this is a design you want. How about we work it this way? You know, doing kitchen cake, a smaller cake and kitchen cake to feed the rest of the people. Then, I mean, a lot of stuff we know that they don't know, they don't even know to ask. So, and that's how we can help them. So I find it very, very useful to get a number out there, and don't be embarrassed because we're all trying to help and make this the best day possible for everybody.
You wedding pros know the tricks of the trade. That's why you're the pros. So that's very good to know. Another reason to be upfront. I didn't even have real cake for my wedding at my wedding. I had a fake cake for display, and then we did the same thing. Had the kitchen cake in the back with 2 different flavors. That was very simple. No one had any idea that they weren't eating the actual cake that was on display. So
yeah, Laura. Sorry. Camelia, I have this bad habit of cutting you off. Laura, I wanted to ask you, when you said, you know, maybe scaling the design down a little bit would help bring the cost down. Obviously, there's a lot of labor and detail that goes into cake design. And you said these are the things that we know that they don't know how to ask. So I know a good part, and this is pretty much across the board with vendors as a whole, not just this category, is that a big part of your initial consultation is just educating the brides and grooms that call you for your services. So when you say these are the things we know that they don't know what to ask, what are some helpful things that brides should know to ask, especially with your service with cakes?
Well, I find it very helpful if asking how far out to book a wedding, because, you know, North Carolina has 2 huge seasons, the spring and the fall. And I know a lot of people are surprised that they're trying to book a wedding out 6 months out in the fall, and we're all already booked. So anyway, that's one thing. Yeah, how can I make this budget friendly? Or, you know, do you charge more for flavors, changing flavors in the cake? Or is it even, you know, brides aren't even aware that it's possible to do multiple flavors in a cake. So yeah. Those are, I think hopefully I hit on that.
Yeah, multiple flavors are great because you have some people that have that chocolate sweet tooth, and then you have the chocolate and you have the vanilla, and usually the chocolate or the vanilla doesn't like the other one. So having those multiple flavors is fantastic. Those are some great questions for couples to ask. Thank you for sharing those. And I saw a lot of people too nodding their head with some of those things that you were saying. So then we have capital cakes.
Hi. So I actually have a pricing sheet on my website so that it makes things a little bit easier for them and a little bit easier for me. I do find lots of brides are a little skeptical to give me their budget, and they're like, we'll just see at the end. I'm like, no, this just wastes my time and your time when I make you something beautiful and huge to fit your guests and it's way out of your budget. So that's my major piece of advice is they're not ashamed to do it. They just think that they're going to get taken for a ride. And honestly, we have so many clients stacked for pretty much all the same days. It's not that we're trying to jack your prices up. We're just trying to help you out. I promise. I also do have a frequently asked questions on my website as well. I don't really find a problem with brides asking me questions. I actually find a bigger problem with brides being able to answer my questions. You know, certain things like they don't know how they're going to pay for the wedding, whether it be their mom or this or that. You need to figure out who is making decisions and paying for your cake to figure out if you can actually pay for it or not before you ever go to a tasting. You need to figure out a clear vision of what you want, whether it be multiple pictures, one picture, whatever. I need to be able to see into your vision to even be able to give you a quote on that. And that's really it. Some just say, oh, I don't know, you know, maybe a 1 tier, maybe a 4 tier. I'm like, that's a huge difference. So if you can have pretty general answers to things, you know, how many tiers you're looking for, because if you have 300 people coming to your wedding, I don't really care how many people you have if you want a 2-tiered cake. That's what I'm going to give you. Okay, whatever you see in your vision. So when coming to cake tastings and caterings and things like that, you need to have a very clear vision of what you're looking for before you ever really start to talk to anybody, in all honesty.
So let me ask you this question. I know when I was planning my wedding, please take no offense to this, but the wedding cake was one of those things that just was not a priority to me. I looked on Pinterest, nothing really inspired me. So how would you handle a client like myself who is, I need a wedding cake, but I don't have a vision for the cake itself. If you know what the feel is for my wedding, which was a Garden Gatsby theme, would you then be able to take that and help design a cake and kind of help me figure out what my vision is based on my budget?
Absolutely. So one thing that I particularly love about all of the cakes in my showroom, I've taken like 15 of the biggest trends that there are, and almost every tier on every cake that I do is a different trend. So then when you come by, you're like, I like this tier, I like this tier. I want to know what major trends you like. I don't need you to give me a whole picture of your cake. If you love this one detail, send me that. I can work off of that. I need something to work off of. And one of my major questions on my questionnaire is, what are your event colors? What are your themes? Any of that, because that gives me a definite direction to go in, which is more than, oh, I don't know. But I've had that client come in too, sit down for a tasting, and I say, just walk around. Tell me something that you like on any of these. We can change colors, we can change directions, sheens, whatever. Just size, shape, design, anything that you love, just tell me. And I also love having the guys' input as well. Many of the girls kind of trample over what the guy wants for the cake. So you need his input too.
They, I guess, are kind of important as well.
They're like 15% of the wedding.
That's really good to know. I do feel like some couples have a vision, but do need help, you know, pulling out that vision or knowing how to describe that, which is where wedding planners are fantastic. So we've gone a little bit over our time limit, but I do have one question I want everyone to answer, just very briefly, 1 to 2 sentences, because I love hearing this. Everyone's answer is always different. What is your particular favorite part of the wedding or rehearsal, dinner, wedding planning process? What is your favorite part and why? Okay, we'll go to Capital Cakes first.
Groom's cakes. I love groom's cakes because so many wedding cakes are just like white, terrible, boring, and a groom's cake, I get to go wild and do off the wall, weird cakes that you're only going to see once. There's barely any ever ideas of them. They just premonition of all of his favorite things. So I love a groom's cake.
What's your favorite groom's cake that you've created?
The record player, because I'm a vinyl junkie, and I mean, I got down to the minuscule details of it, and I love it when they can repoint those details back out to me, like, ooh, you even put like 45 and 33 buttons on there. That's cool. So I like when those details are noticed.
That's awesome. Yeah, groom's cakes are really fun. I love looking at those. You get to show a lot of your creativity as a cake artist there.
And lots of brides don't know what they are. So do some research, see if you want to do a groom's cake either at the wedding or the night before.
Awesome. Love that. Who else wants to weigh in on their favorite part of the wedding? Doesn't have to do with your category, just favorite part of the wedding. Okay, catering works.
Mine would probably be when I guess guests first come in to see the space, and they're greeted with maybe a signature cocktail, but also past appetizers or like a beautiful grazing table or something, fun like that. Whether it's a flip and they're coming back in to see the space, or they're coming from the ceremony and walking in, and it's just kind of that initial just breathtaking view of the bar, and the drinks, but as well as the past appetizer, being greeted by staff with past appetizers, I think is always fun.
They get that wow factor, and you get to see it on their face, and they're like, whoa, look what they did with this space.
And it's also with the flowers and the rentals and just everything that just came together with the planning over the year or so.
Yeah, especially if they kind of know what the couple's vision was, to see it, come to fruition is really cool. Confectionate cakes.
Man, hitting that mute button is a chore. I love walking into the venue and seeing how it's decorated, especially venues that I've been to many times, and just seeing how it's transformed for each person and each wedding. It's just, so many times I walk in and it's just magical. So, it's breathtaking. I love seeing that.
That has to be really cool. You work with so many venues, and each wedding is so unique. To see it just totally transformed into these different styles and themes has got to be really interesting, and probably as a cake baker and inspiring as well.
Oh yeah, like when I walked into one, it was all Star Wars themed. That was interesting.
Love that. I've been looking at some Star Wars weddings recently, so that's been a lot of fun for sure. We have City and Gravy.
Yeah, all good answers. It's so hard to pick one. I would say I've got two maybe. One is when right before everything starts and there's this lovely buzz and everybody knows that this is it's here we go. That's so lovely when that starts to happen right before they go down the aisle. That just makes you know, like, this is what I'm in this for, is bringing everybody together or being a part of something like this. That's great. And then this is kind of directly related, I guess, if you want to say specifically to food, but I really like making the couples plates. I have a good time with that because it's a little bit artistic. If you're on a buffet and you know that you're helping create their first meal together as a married couple, it just gives me all the feels. So
that's actually really sweet. Thinking of it that way, and you're right, but before the ceremony there's just this energy, everyone's come together to celebrate this couple, and it really is a really exciting moment to share with a lot of people, a lot of close friends and family members. Does anyone else want to tell us about their favorite part of the wedding? So we have Just Soup and then Mr. and That Dang Woman.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I think for me, number one, what I really love about Just Soup is it's a live boil. So we bring everything out on site. We boil right in front of the guest. And so you can see their faces and the reaction. And then when you see everyone dressed to the nine, it really depends on kind of where you're at in the wedding. I've seen people, wear flops and shorts and be very casual at the beach, or dressed to the nine. But regardless of their attire, they're getting down and dirty. They have cocktail sauce all over them, and they're just having a true amazing time. So I think that's what's cool, is just we can really roll our sleeves up, get down and dirty, and our boils are very customizable, and it's live action right in front of everyone.
Yeah, that's fun. Some live entertainment, and I definitely would be that wedding guest with that cocktail sauce all down the front of my dress. I've actually had to do a change at a wedding where I was staying because I spilled red wine all over myself at the reception. So If anyone invites me anywhere, make sure that I have a bib. We have Mr. and That Dang Woman, City Barbecue, and then Edible Art.
So I have two. My one is personal, and the other one is for is the wedding. I guess it's my favorite part is decorating my stations for each buffet. When you use us for your caterer, we include your customized decoration. So, and I don't know if you've ever seen any of our stations, but at the Forever Bridal Show, I had 4 different looks. I had shabby chic, I had Greek, I had a Middle Eastern look, and then your traditional black and white. So I really love that aspect of it, and I cater it to your theme or your colors. So your buffet isn't just a buffet with, you know, chafing dishes on it, or your cocktail hour. It's all literally decorated to, like my friend there said, to the nines, to match your wedding specifically. And then my selfish part of weddings is that I become the boss of my husband. So he's always the boss of me in the food truck, but when we're at the weddings, I get to be his boss. So it's a selfish reason, but it's awesome to be able to get to tell him what to do for once.
Oh, that's so funny. Well, y'all make a good team then. You got a little give and take there, depending on the situation. City Barbecue?
You know, I think my favorite part, and maybe this doesn't sound right now that I'm going to say it out loud, but it's the end. I love.
What do you mean by the end?
You know, when all of our parts of everything are over, everybody's fed, you can tell they're just fat and happy, and they're dancing and just looking out on that crowd. And it's one of my favorite parts of the evening, to sit back with, you know, my staff, venue owners, other folks that are still there, and just see this satisfaction and happiness of the family and everybody that's there. It's just so rewarding. It's why we all do it. We want to make our people happy, and creating that happiness and seeing the results of all the hard work we've done at the end. So I guess I love the end, and I also hate the end, because then it's over.
I'm glad you explained that, because I was like, what do you mean the end? But that's true. Seeing, it's kind of like, okay, we did our job and we did it well. Everyone's enjoying themselves, having a good time. And it is really fun and nice when you get to see other people enjoying something that you've worked so hard on and so hard to give them a great experience. So I really like that answer. That's great. Edible Art?
Yeah, so everyone has had really good answers. It's hard every time I hear someone like, oh my goodness, yeah, I really like that too. But going off of actually what City Barbecue said, the whole time I was thinking, us as bakers, we don't actually get to see a lot of the wedding. We normally go in when everything's set up and drop the cake off, arrange the cake, and then leave. So we never really know how it all goes until the end, until the brides and grooms come back to us and tell us about their wedding, or when the photographers send us the pictures. So I would say basically in the beginning, when you see the expressions on everybody's face when the bride and groom get to see each other for the first time, I think that's very touching to see them. And then also later in the end, when everybody is just, you know, loose, having fun, they're not all trying to catch up anymore, they're just enjoying their time together, and you get to see the expressions on everyone's face, enjoying the time, celebrating together, and the photos at the end. So if any photographers are out there listening, I know a lot of the other cake companies agree, but anytime we receive the photos from them, we greatly appreciate it because we get to see the cake with the bride and groom. We get to see everything that went down that day, and just it makes it a little bit extra special. It makes us feel like we are a little bit more a part of the wedding than just the setup.
Please send photos.
Exactly.
That is awesome. It was so great to hear you say that, Mindy, and that's something really interesting because when my daughter got married last year, we had a wedding planner and he went around and I guess took a bunch of pictures with his cell phone, and he just all of a sudden that night when we were on our way home, these pictures started coming through and I was like, oh my gosh, thank you for sending these. And he said, you know, while you're waiting for the professional ones to come back and you're so involved in what was happening, we just always like to snap a few pictures and send them through, and then you can share them with the vendors and, you know, whoever else you might want to share them with while you're anticipating. So I hope I remembered to share a cake picture with you from Jackie's wedding, but that's just really great to hear. And I think my favorite part of doing these Wedding Wednesdays that we've been doing for the past 4 weeks now is we've asked every category group of vendors what their favorite part of the wedding is, and just to hear it from your perspective in terms of what it is that you do, and then a little personal, what your personal favorite part is. It's just really enlightened me to all of the things that go into what you do and how you make it so special for the couples, and all the way to the very end where you don't even get to see them enjoy their cake and you work so hard to prepare it for them. It's really enlightening to hear all these favorite components of what's going in to the wedding and what your favorite part of it is. So that has been really, really rewarding for me. And as we get ready to close out here, I just want to thank you all again for hopping on, sharing some of your current experiences, some of the details on how you work your business and how you provide quotes for people. I'm super excited that I think just about all of you guys mentioned how you're doing some sort of special tasting boxes or virtual Zoom tours or drop off and curbside delivery with food packages and so forth. That's just so great right now to have you guys offering that for not only couples planning their wedding, but just for other people out there. And we would love to keep promoting that for y'all and get the word out so that there's for all the people in our community and for couples who are still planning, that they can still get their tastings done and sample some food from the restaurants and the caterers are well. That's so important right now. And I'm just so appreciative and grateful to have you all on here and sharing everything with us. So please make sure you share with your clients, and we'd love for your info to get out. We'll be tagging everybody in the video when it actually posts up there and stays on our live. So any other questions or comments that you may want to share in the comments of the video about your business and any other details, please feel free to do that. And we just thank you again for being part of our Wedding Wednesday spotlight today on caterers and restaurants and baking. So you guys have a great afternoon, and we'll be coming at you again. We've got to figure out what our topic is for next week, but keep booking those weddings, and we just can't wait for everything to get back to something a little more comfortable and normal than it has been. So
yeah, thank you all for joining us. We greatly appreciate it, and we know our couples appreciate you all. We'll see you all soon.
Yeah, see you all next time.